Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be showing you how I got a credit score of 741, and I'm going to give you some tips on how you can increase your credit score. Okay, so first things first, if you've never checked your credit score or you don't know what it is, I would highly recommend using Credit Karma. This is not an ad, or they didn't pay me anything for this video, but Credit Karma is a great resource. It's completely free. You don't have to put in any credit card information, and they give you a lot of education. If you click around on things on their site, they'll kind of explain what each aspect of the score is and why it is what it is. Okay, if you see here, my credit score is currently 741. I had it up to 745, but Credit Karma updates more than just once a month. So I put a little bit of money on my credit card and they updated and my score came down about 4 points. But that's really no big deal. Once I paid off at the end of the month, it'll go back up. And really, as long as my score is above 720, then I'm feeling good. So if I scroll down here, this is like the aspects that make up your credit score. And I'm going to give you some tips on how you can increase your credit score. Okay, so the first tip I have is to see if you can dispute any of your derogatory marks. You see here I have 0 derogatory marks. A derogatory mark is basically if you didn't pay a bill and they sent you to collections and it was still just never paid. So when I originally logged onto my Credit Karma, I had 1 derogatory mark, and it was from a medical bill when I was 16 years old, which anything before you're 18 you shouldn't be responsible for. So through Credit Karma, I didn't have to pay anything or anything. I just submitted a note and I put the reason. I kind of just explained why I shouldn't be responsible to this. And I submitted the dispute through Credit Karma. And 2 days later, I got an email back saying that I had won the dispute and they took it off my record. At the time, my credit score was maybe a little bit above 700 and it spiked. So this is something that I just didn't even know about. And there's probably a lot of people out there who have marks that they're not responsible for, but they've never used any kind of service to try to get rid of it. So the first thing I'm going to do is, if there's any kind of derogatory mark, see if you can dispute it. Okay, and my second tip to increase your credit score is to be very mindful of your credit card usage that you see here. Right here you can see mine is 6%. If you don't know what credit card usage is, it's basically how much credit that you're using and versus how much credit is available. So say, for instance, you had a $1,000 line of credit and you have $200 sitting on your credit card, then your credit card usage would be 20%. What a lot of people don't know is just because your payment is due on the 3rd of the month, well, they kind of collect it a few days before the previous month ends, and that's how they'll do it. So say you have a $1,000 line of credit and every single month you spend about $200 and then you pay it off on the 3rd of the month. Well, it's constantly going to show 20%, which is relatively high in your credit report. So to get this off, you're going to want to pay it off maybe 5 days before the previous end of the month. So instead of, if it's due January 3rd, pay it in a little bit in December. Don't wait until your payment due date. You want to get it off paid as soon as possible. So even though you're actually paying it off, it'll show that's on there and your credit score might consistently show down. So definitely pay your payments early. And then the second thing here is, if you have to have that money sit on your credit card, then you can just request to get your credit line increased. And a lot of credit card companies will give it to you relatively easy. You can call them, or some places have it where you can just request it online. So if you had a $1,000 credit line and you had $200 sitting on your card, so that'd be 20%. But if you get them to increase it to $2,000 for your credit line, and you've still got $200 on it, now your credit card usage is only 10%, even though it's the same amount of money sitting on your cards. So that's why, as much as I can, I try to get my credit line increased, because then my percentage is lower and it doesn't really matter how much is sitting on it. So if you can get your credit line increased, it's going to help your percentage. Okay, and my third and final tip, it's not much of a tip, it's really just common sense. If you see here, my credit history is only 1 year and 8 months. And they have that marked red because that's not a very long time for credit. But everything else is green. And if you see the short descriptions on here, all that really means is that I'm not missing any payments, I'm paying everything on time, and I have not a lot of money sitting on my credit card. That's really all you have to do to get a good credit score. If you get a bill in the mail and you're like, I wonder if I just don't pay that, well, it's going to get sent to collections. And a lot of times, even if you pay something that goes to collections after they call you, it's still going to put a mark on your credit score. And then if you ever need a loan for anything like a car or a house, you're going to have a higher level of interest, and you're going to pay so much more in interest than if you would have just paid that bill already. So be very proactive about bills you get in the mail, and make sure you're paying everything off on time. Because even if you're young and you're not thinking about it, one day it's going to come back to haunt you in interest. So yeah, just make sure you pay off everything on time and try to have the least amount of money as possible sitting on your credit card. And if you can't get that money off your credit card, like I said, try to get your credit line increased. Okay guys, that's it for this video. If you liked it, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. If you have anything that you want to add to what I've said, please leave it in the comments. And if you didn't understand something, comment below and I'll definitely get to you. Thank you.